start with breaking news here at noon involving the St. Helens School District. Thanks for joining us. I'm Drew Carney. Earlier this week, a current teacher and a former teacher at St. Helens High School were both arrested and charged with sexually abusing students. And just 15 minutes ago, we learned that the high school principal is now on administrative leave and the district's board chair has resigned. Thomas Schultz is covering this story live for us in St. Helens. So, Thomas, there is a lot going on there. Again, we know the St. Helens School Board will meet later this afternoon. If you can hear me, my question is, what else have we learned today?
Yeah, well, Drew, obviously you can hear the honking behind us, and you can just see the crowds here. They're elated, they tell me, over the past few minutes as this news has come out. All across these street corners, there's dozens of students and parents on their second day of protesting. They've been out here since 8:30 this morning. They tell me they plan to be out here until 3:30, generally about the time a school day would end, though they say this news is not enough. Dotting corners around St. Helens High, students protested for change Friday after two teachers were arrested this week for sexual abuse of minors.
I've seen a lot of things that were wrong to me, and I think that there's little effort to change these things.
We're all not going to stand for it anymore because it's been put under the rug.
One of the teachers, Eric Stearns, was arrested Tuesday. He was still teaching until his arrest, even though police say the school knew since October he was under investigation.
The school didn't really do anything.
After Stearns' arrest, students say they remember uncomfortable situations in his classroom.
Looking back, I'm like, oh, that's like kind of gross.
Students and parents say, unfortunately, these situations aren't unusual.
If anybody reports this stuff, it was made to feel like it's not that big a deal, right? We just kind of want it to go away.
And they let people who have had multiple strikes against them, multiple harassment claims, still teach. And it's disappointing, it's sickening.
We reached out to the school district and every board member for an interview. None responded. Though this afternoon, the school board will discuss punishing or firing Stearns. They'll also talk about putting Superintendent Scott Stockwell on paid administrative leave.
I think it's a step in the right direction, but it's not what we want. We want him gone from the school board, and we want everyone else on the school board gone.
And now, some parents are considering pulling their kids from the district.
I'm not going to trust these people.
As students demand change.
And I can tell you that it's been a frightening experience for me.
And guys, it's not just, Drew, students and parents out here. We've heard from cars and trucks honking all morning long, and just across the street from the high school is a church. Now, counseling services have partnered with that church to offer hot chocolate, a place for students to rest, and maybe most importantly for all, counseling at this time. Drew?
A lot still developing there today. Thomas, of course, I know you're going to stay there. We're going to continue to follow this story. We'll have more coverage coming up in our next live newscast at 4 p.m. And also, our team at The Story is looking to talk to people who live in St. Helens, people who may have more information to share on all this. So if that's you, you can send an email to thestory@kgw.com. You can also call and leave a voicemail. That number is 503-226-5090. Also a heads up here this afternoon, tomorrow and Sunday, a small section of the Max line in downtown Portland will be shut down so TriMet can work on upgrades. So this is going to impact service on the blue and red lines and will also impact some regular traffic near Southwest Morrison between 11th and 12th. Shuttle buses will be used to get riders around the construction between the Galleria and Providence Park stations. TriMet says riders should plan an extra 15 minutes for any trips downtown over the weekend. All right, quick break from the headlines here for this live look outside. A live look from our Cannon Beach sky cam. There has been some clearing in the skies above the coast here this afternoon. It may still be a little cloudy wherever our viewers are watching this afternoon.
It's dynamic.
Let's talk about the changes, though, Chris. What are we looking at?
We are watching the sky actually break up. And so to your point, Drew, the cloud cover that we had out there in the fog this morning continues to be eroded at on all sides here. So I expect as we roll into the next hour or two that the rest of the Portland area is going to be fairly sunny as we go to the afternoon. This is the live look from our Wells Fargo sky camera. Remember earlier today, couldn't see anything because it was just socked in. 47 last check at PDX. We go out to the Dalles. It is sunny there in the east end of the gorge. It's also quite breezy through that part of the state. 40 right now in Hillsborough. Right now our state capital checking in with 52. It's been a little sunnier for a little longer down there. And we'll probably top out around 52 or so here in Portland. All right, what I'm watching for the weekend is that big mass of cloud cover. There's lots of water in those clouds headed our way for tomorrow. We take you up to the mountain, bright, deep white snowpack from Timberline. We're going to add to that this weekend as well. There's a winter storm watch in effect for the Oregon and Washington Cascades. I'm going to break this down hour by hour, what that means in terms of the rainfall and the rain arriving tomorrow and how much snow we can expect in the Cascades this weekend. That's coming up in just a few minutes.
Yeah, just over 10 minutes from now, we will check back in with Chris. Right now, though, we want to get back to our local news headlines. People living near Columbia Park in North Portland are speaking out after a shootout and a street takeover in their neighborhood. They say they want city leaders to invest in this area to make it safer. Several homes and cars were hit by gunfire last month. Investigators say a gathering at Columbia Park on October 15th ended with at least 50 rounds fired.
I have a 2-year-old son that I play with in the park often, and the shooting actually happened right next to the playground. So it's an issue that's near and dear to all of our hearts.
Another street takeover also happened earlier this month along North Lombard Street, but police say no one was hurt during that takeover. They did, though, arrest 2 people. Several businesses in downtown Portland are now looking for a new home. That includes a record store that's been there for more than 40 years. The businesses inside this building, the Governor Building, at the corner of Southwest 2nd and Harvey Milk, were notified a few months ago that they would have to leave. In a statement, the management company Downtown Development Group says they can no longer operate the building, and they also say they're working with tenants to help them transition. One of those tenants is 2nd Avenue Records.
This particular area right in here has pretty much nothing going for it right now, so we're kind of the last party standing down here. We had hoped to stay on long enough to at least see the downtown come back.
So we just heard the voice of the manager of 2nd Avenue Records there. She told us they do have a potential new location in mind, but she says it's still under construction. Meanwhile, American Freight, the national discount furniture and appliance store, is shutting down all of its locations all across the country. So that includes their 3 stores in Oregon and Washington, one in Clackamas, another in Medford, and a third in Tacoma. American Freight posted this on their Instagram page yesterday, basically advertising up to 40% off the lowest ticketed prices in their stores. This closure comes after its parent company, Franchise Group Inc., filed for bankruptcy earlier this year. Portland City Commissioner Rene Gonzalez is reportedly facing another fine for a campaign's finance violation stemming from his run for mayor. According to the Oregonian, the city auditor has fined Gonzalez just over $9,000 for being too slow to return about $3,000 in excess donations. Here's the deal. Candidates who participate in Portland's Small Donors Elections program are barred, basically speaking, from donations of more than $350, and any amount greater than that has to be returned within a week. The auditor found that Gonzalez failed to do that 17 different times. In a statement, Gonzalez said his campaign received no benefit from the excess donations, and he also says his campaign returned the money as soon as it was discovered.